Bro, are you ready for tonight?
Dude, I am pumped. But there's something I wanted to talk to you about before we get started.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, so everyone's looking at the next 2 weeks as a gauntlet for us, right?
Dude, your next 2 weeks, every game is against a team that thinks they're a contender.
Exactly. I feel like you guys are kind of forgetting something.
Forgetting what?
Bruins punch!
Oh, God.
You aren't the gauntlet. I am.
Cheap shot. Wicked cheap shot.
Winners don't apologize. Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team that is a dub, a dub, a dub, a dub, a dub, a dub, a dub! 7 in a row! That's what I'm talking about. Imagine being the New Jersey Devils and winning 13 straight. Insane. And we're only 19 games into the season. 18, 17, they're one of those, right? We're 19 games in. 17 to us. They've won 13 straight. And they're looking up in the standings at the Boston Bruins. That is bonkers to think about. 17-2. The 80-2 dream still alive. Beating Tampa Bay. Check on that too. Starting the gauntlet the right way, because we all talked about this upcoming 2 weeks as the gauntlet. And Tampa Bay in their arena, I mean, that's just another dub. That's just another Monday to us. That's all that is. You gotta love it. If you don't love it, I don't know what's wrong with you other than the fact that you're probably not a Bruins fan. That's probably what's going on if you don't love that. You probably really dislike it, in fact, if you're not a Bruins fan. But you know what? You go do your thing with your team that is not 17-2. That's what you're allowed to do. We can leave us alone. I am so elated. Tonight has been a great night full of great news. None better than Bergeron's 1,000th point. But there were a few other things that I found out tonight that were exciting. Personal life stuff you guys don't get to know yet. Don't get to know yet. You'll find out later. 1,000th point for Bergeron. Tampa Bay, coming into this matchup, they were talked about as if they've fallen off a cliff, which is bullcrap. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10, or were 7-2-1 in their last 10. The only big difference, because although they don't have as much depth as they used to, but the biggest difference we're seeing is Vasilevsky simply isn't immortal. He's a .909 save percentage coming into this one. Hedman, probably a big part of the Vasilevsky thing. Hedman also has not looked great because he's on my fantasy team. I feel like anyone I put on my fantasy team, and I know a lot of people feel like this, but I'm actually right, has just decided to have their worst career year this year. So good job by them. Or be injured, which is also a good job by them. But let's not pretend that Tampa's a bad team. They're not. They're an excellent team, or at least a very good one. And for a large portion of this game, we kicked the crap out of them. For some portion of this game, they kicked the crap out of us. So it's a little bit of give and take. Olmark's going to get the start for us. He is leading in all major categories for goalies. He is a front runner for the Vezina. Just bonkers. But there are huge line changes. Taylor Hall is going to be in the bottom 6 for this game. Now, these get shifted like crazy during the game because there's some injuries. But Taylor Hall gets bumped down. Frederick gets moved over to the right of Coyle because you're not bumping him up. You're bumping Zacha up to be with Krejci and Pasternak, and then Marchand, Bergeron. DeBrusk is still your first line. Guys, Clifton gets bumped from top pair with Lindholm. McAvoy will still with Grizz. Carlo's now going to play with Lindholm, and then your bottom pair is Stralman-Clifton. Stralman's had a roller coaster start to the season, but I feel like he's improved each game. That's a lot of line changes for a team that keeps winning. I think with the buffer we've set up already, with the amount of wins we have and the points we've banked, I think Jim is trying to be preemptive in some issues he's seen, but still trying to find the best lineups for his guys and give them chemistry in places where, hey, you don't know if a couple months down the road you're going to need this line to be working well together. So give them some time, give them some reps, let them understand each other a little bit better. I like that a lot. Like, comment, subscribe. Nailed it. Puck drops And if you watch this game after watching this video, skip to the 11:32 mark left in the first. 11:32 left. Because that is our first shot of the game. The Lightning have already shot on us 9 times. The Lightning kicked the crap out of us for the first 10 minutes of this one. Seriously, 30 seconds after our first shot. If you let a team do this for this amount of time, if you let a team stay in your zone for 8 minutes and 46 seconds out of the first 8 minutes and 57 seconds, you're asking to get scored on. And that is exactly what happens. Killorn shrugs off Clifton to keep the puck and kind of punch it forward around the boards. It's going to get to Stamkos behind the net, who just flings it up into the slot. And Coyle has a chance to play this puck, man, and it just bounces away from him. It's not a good enough pass to have gotten there on its own. But Paul is going to accept this and snipe top glove on Ullmark. We're less than 10 minutes in. We have been bodied the entire time. We can't connect a pass. Now we're down by a goal. It's not exactly something that you look at and go, that's how we drew it up. That's how we like it. That's how we like it. But did any of you think, oh, God, real competition? Or were you like, all right, we started slow. They're not going to shut us out? Because that's how I felt. I sat there and went, oh, we're still winning this game. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. I was right. I was right. Some of you were right. Some of you were wrong. And shame on you for being wrong about a hockey game. One of the hardest things to gamble on. 4:24 left. Vasi. This was a wild game changer. Again, they've been better than us this period. We start turning it on little by little by little. Little more time in the offensive zone. Little bit better of a transition. Picking up the speed on the passes. Little more accurate on the passes. Tape to tape even. 4:24 left. And the fact that this goes in. I mean, it's just a transition. Krejci on the right side. Takes the blue line. Right above the right circle. Just whoop. And Vasi gets a massive piece of this. Low blocker side. And it deflects and goes high blocker in. Vasi wants that one back badly because you just don't see a goalie of that caliber get beat from that distance too often. And it's 1-1, and their fantastic first period, their fantastic dominant first period is wiped out just like that. And then a few minutes later, with about 59 seconds left, interference on Chernak, going to the power play. Good vibes until this happens. DeBrusk bodies Pasternak. They misread the play. They both went to the same area. Wabop. DeBrusk doubled over, skates back to the bench. He would return. We're fine. But after that collision, the puck gets moved up. They're shorthanded, remember. Puck gets moved up to the left wall. Paul's going to take it and basically get a breakaway with Marchand on his back. Marchand slashes him to try to prevent it. That's a penalty. And Ullmark makes an incredible save that will not count because time expired. So we're going to start the second. 1 minute and 2 seconds of 4v4, and then 58 seconds shorthanded. We do kill it. Our penalty kill, for the most part, was excellent this game. Ullmark was excellent-er. He was. There's a moment or two you'd like one. There's particularly one goal that he wants back. But he faced some crazy pressure. And none more than a 1-1 game, a couple minutes into the period. Point screams down the slot to get a breakaway. The defense... I don't know what happened here because I think it's just Point picking up so much speed and the defense didn't see it in time because typically you start to move back and you go, fuck it. If they take the blue line, they take the blue line. At least we're not giving up a breakaway. They don't see it in time. Point collects, goes right through them. He's going so fast that he can't try deking on Ullmark. And so he just has to shoot and Ullmark makes the save. And it was massive, game-changing because that could have shifted everything. And then Zaka slashed at 3:41 into the period, going to the power play. The power play looks so broken. It looks terrible. Tampa attacking us aggressively. We can't open up any slots. We're just passing around the outskirts, and Tampa's pushing until the one thing that's going to bite your ass if you're over-aggressive is eventually, if that team can keep possession, you are leaving someone open because too many of your guys spread out. It's exactly what happens. Krejci with the heads-up play on the left wall to bump it to Zaka, who's in a high slot, who moved away from his pressure, and he just chucks this on net. Who else but Foligno? I want him to get 15, 20 goals this year. Just to rub it in my face how I really just didn't believe this was in him anymore. I did not. That is what I should apologize for. I keep arguing with people who ask me to apologize about the Foligno stuff. That is something I should consider. But Foligno's battling in front of the net. Puck hits them, goes up high. Foligno, as he's falling, getting tackled down the ice, is able to swipe it in as it lands on the ice. 2-1 power play goal. 31 seconds later, fast break, and this is clever. Hall takes the right side, slams on the brakes. Defense skirts by him, and he sees Frederick coming through the slot. Short pass to Freddie. Freddie makes one move to open up the lane, throws it to Coyle, who's backdoor. Coyle battling with Bogosian, I want to say, and as he's getting knocked around, dunks this puck. There is a review because the net gets dislodged after Bogosian hits Coyle into the net, but it's very clearly a goal. I was surprised there was even as long of a review as there was, but it's 3-1. Very easy call for the refs, and we have a 2-goal lead, 31 seconds, 2 goals. Fantastic. And about 12 minutes in, Freddie is out, and it looks like he might miss some games. Freddie's streaking down onto Vasilevsky, who Vasi gets the puck. It was a dump in, but Vasi does this nice little turn to protect the puck. I don't think there was any ill intent here. Freddie's right on top of him. Freddie did not slow down at all. He gets spun by Vasi and goes right into the wall. He did not return to the game. Best thoughts for him. It's a bummer because I feel like he's improved each game. I'm not a big Freddie guy, but he's been getting better and better, and it's a shame to see that stall out. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's no big deal. 11:08 left. Corey Perry is going to go for high sticking. No dice. 4:52 left. Bergeron. Oh, Bergeron. Bergeron to DeBrusque, who fires from the high slot. It goes very, very high. And for some reason, the only person who tracks us down is Marchand. Jumps up, grabs the puck. He's 4 feet in front of Vasky, puts it on his stick, and just shoots it by him glove side. And as soon as he scores, instead of celebrating for himself, he turns to Bergeron and goes, "You." 1,000th point. Did anyone else tear up a little bit? I mean, I don't want to sound dumb. These guys don't know who I am. But, I don't know. I'm on the younger side of Bruins fans in the grand scheme of things, right? I'm not even 30 yet. I grew up with Bergeron. Sort of. I mean, by the time I could really understand what was going on in hockey, when I was 6 or 7, 8 years old, like I had those early 2000s Bruins teams, but I was watching a lot of the Avalanche and the Red Wings, and I mean, the Bruins were my team, but they weren't going to do all that much, right? And things started to change. Got a little bit older. Bergeron comes along, and it's been Bergie ever since. He's been everything to this team. It's awesome to see. 1,000 points. And he deserves every single one of them. Everyone loves him. The whole league loves him. Just awesome. So, shout out to Bergie. Because why wouldn't you? 4-1. Oh, you love to see it. 2 minutes left. Bergeron's clear is intercepted. And, which is ironic. Puck gets cycled to the high slot. Shot is deflected. Shot goes in. Deflected. Goes high. And this is just the highest high stick to dunk them. Like, literally, that stick's above Olmark's head. And he hits it down. And it goes behind Olmark and in. And it's waved off so quickly it stays 4-1. We're going to the third with a 3-goal lead. You love to see it. Not the way you want to start, though. 19 seconds in, Grizz for hooking. We kill it. 2:56 in. Hall. Tripped. Power play. And 55 seconds into the power play, Tampa's PK is so intense and aggressive that they are starting to leave more and more space open. And the Bergerons. I just want to keep on saying Bergerons. The Bruins are doing a great job adapting to this. So, puck keeps getting moved around very quickly. Ends up on DeBrusque's stick in the bottom right corner. And DeBrusque notices that he's the odd man out. All the pressure is already filled out. Now someone has to chase him. He's able to take the center of the ice, goes right in front of Vasilevsky. And as everyone panics and collapses, DeBrusque, instead of shooting, overpassing, I get it, but he shovels this to Pasternak, who is a wide open net at somewhat of a sharp angle, and that is going to be 5-1. He graciously skates over to the window to say hello to his adoring fans and gets flipped off for his trouble by a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. If that is not the perfect metaphor for how non-Bruins fans are watching this 17-2 start. Oh, just flawless. Flawless. Unfortunately, 11 seconds later, Lindholm with a boneheaded play, worst play I've seen from him this year. He passes to Nosek. He's right in front of Ullmark. Passes to Nosek, who's 4 feet away from him. And Nosek immediately gets the puck smacked off his stick by an attacker. Immediately. Like, Lindholm never should have made this pass. It leads to a 2-on-1 between Balcers and Maroon. Couple of passes. Balcers ends up getting it right in front of Ullmark, beats him glove side. There's nothing Ullmark can do about a 2-on-none, right? Like, that was brutal. So it's 5-2. 10:06 left. Coyle is going to go for slashing. It's a really, really, really bad call. But it is what it is. You're still up by 3 goals, finish the game. And it's frustrating because 44 seconds into that penalty kill, this is a really nice play by Hedman. He's got it on the right point. He takes the space in front of him. Fake shot. Everyone collapses. And then he dishes it over to Paul, who's going to beat Ullmark blocker side. So far side from the right circle. Ullmark looks like he really wanted that one back. But it's 5-3 on a power play goal. Thank God the next 9 minutes go our way. We are able to finish it off with the 5-3 final score. 80-2 dream still alive. Game notes. It's all about Bergeron's 1,000th. I mean, the win's the win, and that's what you do, but he's the 4th Bruin to do it. Bork, Busick, Esposito. Yeah. Yeah. The 4th Bruin. Ugh. And Esposito's very catchable with 1,012, if I read that correctly. I was going through them earlier. That's very catchable. Bergeron's going to hang from the rafters someday, man. It's going to be beautiful. I need another Bergie. Actually, the NHL All-Star I sent out for obvious reasons, because it was a Bergie, is getting customized as we speak. So I'll be getting that back, hopefully for Christmas, but we will see. We will see. DeBrusk deserves a ton of praise for what his play has been lately. He has been good defensively. He's been good offensively. He's been physical and difficult to play against, and his IQ has gotten better and better with every shift. He finds open areas, and I just had this conversation about how he seems too passive to the big dogs on the team, but he's starting to feel like a leader on the ice, a guy who makes plays happen. He still has that baby face. He still looks young, but I don't know. I think some of the guys are kind of looking at him like, yeah, do what DeBrusk does. And why not? With the way he's playing right now, why not do what DeBrusk does? I really think this guy's turning into a real, like, I mean, he's been a real player, but he's turning into what he can become. And that's really exciting for this team, especially going forward after this year. It's really exciting. Ullmark. I mean, 3 goals. One of them you'd really, really, really like back because Ullmark feels like he could have made that stop. Another one because, Jesus, that turnover was egregious on a 2-on-none right in front of him. I mean, he really could have walked out of this one with another 960 save percentage or something ridiculous. But he's been excellent, and I hope it continues all year. I want to hear his name at least in the top 3 for the Vezina voting. Just individual accolades mean nothing to this team right now, but it is really nice to see Ullmark have this kind of success after the years of being beaten down in Buffalo. Ugh, poor guy. And Buffalo looks like they're well, improving. So good for them, you know? This isn't a bashing Buffalo moment. No, not at all. Not at all. Anyway, guys, it does it for me. Like, comment, subscribe. We're on to the next one. We are on to the next one. We have Vegas coming up, I think, or Panthers, or is it the Leafs, or is it Carolina? I don't know. We have another really good team coming up. I'm looking for a winning record through these 2 weeks. I'm not looking for craziness. I'm really not. I mean, 80-2, obviously, but you know what I mean. I'm not looking for this team to sweep through another 2 weeks. But if you're going to play really competitive teams, have a winning record against them. Show that in the playoffs out of 7 games, how many games do you win? 4. I don't give a shit if it's only 4. Just win 4. We're not there yet, but show that you're not going to fold on a road trip. Show that you can compete with these higher-end teams, and that has nothing to do with the schedule, nothing to do with home ice. That's what I want to see, and I think that's exactly what we are going to see. Go Bees!